Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of this week's episode of The 100 on the CW, which is Season 6, Episode 10, Matryoshka. I probably just butchered the hell out of that title, but I knew it was coming. So yeah, hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to talk about the 100 this week. And you guys know, if you see my review of the last week's episode, I am still kind of reeling from our biggest character death in quite some time, probably since the whole season 3 Lexa and Lincoln combo, as well as Jasper, and then along with Monty and Harper in a way and such. But to me, this is the biggest death we've had on the show, really, because Marcus Kane was my favorite character, just behind Clark. Clark is still my favorite, but it was always between the two of them for a lot of the time. Lexa a little bit while she is there. I'm gonna do another update video on my favorite characters. I think once the season's over, then I might actually do a video ranking the season so far anyway. But yeah, so it's still bothering me a little bit. I mean, I was glad they let Henry and Cusick sort of give the character a final send-off before he floated himself, basically. Let him act out the last part, even if it wasn't actually his body anymore. You still got to see Henry and Cusick portray it. So I thought it was a nice touch that they did that. So thus, it sort of resonated emotionally with me a little bit more. I thought that was a good move. But at the same time, just thinking about it from a bigger perspective, I'm still kind of mixed on it. I mean, I don't know if it was due to scheduling with Henry and Cusick thinking that the passage was going to go on and he wanted to devote more of his attention to that, or if it was something else, or maybe they would naturally plan on killing him off here from the start. I'm not sure about that, but either way, it is the reality of it, unfortunately. I don't know, I just feel like I said, Kane was always my second favorite character on the whole show. I think he's arguably the most well-developed character on the show, from where he started at, at the beginning of the series to, just how he turned around and, started seeing things differently and wanting to atone for his way of handling things on the Ark all that time. So, I don't know, I just always envisioned if he was going to die, it'd be in some sort of self-sacrificial way, or it would be in, like, a bigger tied to a bigger arc or something like that for the whole show. I don't know, I guess I just always wanted Kane to get more in on the action than he did. Sometimes I feel like the writers didn't give Henry and Cusick enough to do. Not to the extent with Abby, because Abby still feels out of place and like she doesn't really have much of a use on the show anymore. That's why I'm hoping she dies at the end of season 6. Again, Paige Turco does a nice job. I just feel like the character hasn't really had I don't know, a real purpose besides just being Clark's mom and kind of a convenient doctor. I don't know. So I don't know, I wish there was more they'd done with him while he was there, but it doesn't feel like a waste either. I think his character had a lot of meaning, and at the very least, he went out on his own terms as well. It wasn't like a stray bullet or something, right? At peace and, fully atoning for, his sins, you could say. So I don't want to make this a Kane discussion video fully. But this week's episode was pretty good. And you guys may notice, the bare spot on my wall, by the way. That's where I had the Originals Klaus poster. I did just go to the Vampire Diaries Originals convention in Chicago a couple weeks ago. I do plan on doing a video on the whole convention, by the way. I got my poster signed by Joseph Morgan. It was amazing, and I just haven't had the money to set aside to buy a frame for it yet, so thus I haven't hung it up quite yet. I do plan on getting another poster of the 100 sometime soon as well. If you guys watched my channel a couple years ago, you'll know that a few years ago, I had a Season 1 poster of the 100 hanging in the background. I kind of want to do that again, but I want an updated poster. I always envisioned wanting this one. It would be perfect, current, and it does kind of pop a little. But for some reason, I can't find any site that has a print that's purchasable. That's like around 24 by 36 or somewhere near that. I know I thought I seen like a printed version. Someone had of it on Redbubble, but it hasn't been there in a long time, so I don't know where else to go with it. But anyway, why don't we talk about the actual episode, huh? It was pretty good. Again, this is probably my least favorite season of the show so far, but I am still enjoying it. I still feel invested in the characters and everything. And I thought of the psychological play again here between Clark and Josephine was pretty good. It was good to see Clark finally, as far as fully regain her body. Great emotional moment with Bellamy at the end. Even Octavia trying to get through to him, pull him away, thinking Clark was gone at this point. Great emotional reunion between Clark and Bellamy at the end. A lot of people wanted him to kiss there. It felt appropriate. There's a lot of emotion bubbled up and relief. It would have made sense if they're going to. I still feel like they're slowly building that, and I don't have an issue with it. I mean, I've never been like the biggest Bellark supporter, but I also feel like it would be a better and more organic way to go than them just hooking up with random people or something like Clark did earlier this season. Although I do still really like Echo, which is why I'm worried about her dying to accommodate that. I don't know. But still really nice acting between Eliza Taylor and Bob Morley there, who again are married. How awesome is that? I'm guessing if you guys are a fan of the show, you knew this already, but still I like to talk about it. I did it in the last video and everything as well. I guess it gave some more insight into Josephine, seeing that memory of her she wanted to keep when her and Clark were trying to pull their minds together, basically. Seeing that dance she had with the old one and stuff like that. It's pretty good, and the way kind of Clark looked at her, kind of letting her take it in, sort of understanding, wanting to keep that emotional sort of memory of love and things like that. But in the end, he does, inject her and put her aside because they have their time, as he said. And of course, when the rest of the group is captured, they're almost burned at the stake, basically. Murphy was going to be the one that they're going to volunteer to have go because Abby's holding a lot of resentment towards him right now as well. For sort of helping Josephine take over Clark's body in a way. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some better understanding between Clark and Murphy when she gets back to the rest of the group at this point. Because Murphy never really liked Clark. He was blaming her for a lot of this season, unjustly in my opinion. It was always bothering me how many people were on Clark's ass this season, except Bellamy. Just a sacrifice in the amount she's put on her shoulders this whole series. She's a damn hero. So I'm hoping Murphy is willing to acknowledge at least a little of that. But yeah, it was all pretty good. I mean, I have been pretty energized about 100 this week. I do really love the show, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm going to follow it to the end. And it is one of my favorite sci-fi shows of all time, one of my favorite shows of all time, really. And I watch a ton of shows. So if something's in the top 10 or top 15, it's actually pretty damn good. I don't know, something still feels a bit like a retread about the season. I feel like they haven't really utilized the whole new planet thing to the fullest extent it could be. If you didn't know otherwise, you would still think it's Earth, because there's really not much different they're doing with it. I mean, they had the whole red sun thing or whatever at the beginning of the season, but they haven't had that come into play again since. There aren't any really other environmental threats. I mean, they're doing something with these people and everything like that, but again, it just feels like new setting, automatic hostile group, that we can't trust. It feels like copy and paste. I don't know, I just feel like they could use the whole new world thing to a far greater extent than they are, and it's a little disappointing to me. But nonetheless, again, I still do feel invested in the characters, Clark especially, Bellamy too. Octavia's trying to find a middle ground here. I do really like Echo and Raven, as well as Dio. When she comes back, she'll come back, right? But yeah, I'm looking forward to greener pastures hopefully with season 7, or maybe there'll be some great finale they have for 6, which I'm sure they will. The 100 usually has a really, really damn good season finale. And the season has gone on a bit of an upswing, and sort of like the second half, I feel like, of the of the 13 episodes we're doing this year. As far as I know, it's going to be 16 episodes for season 7 next year, so we'll see what they do with all that. But yeah, overall, pretty good episode. I'm going to give it like an 8.8 out of 10. You guys can let me know what you guys can let me know what you thought about it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like, subscribe, and peace.